local history, local culture, local events, your community. This is the Joe Kelly Show.
Hi there, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. Two guests today. We're going to be talking with Lauren Mattia. Lauren is in charge of the Keep Mohawk Valley Beautiful campaign. It's a cleanup campaign, spring cleaning. We're going to be talking to her about how you can get involved. And we'll also be talking to Steve Smith. Steve is the executive director of the Mohawk Valley Economic Development District. And we'll be talking to him about business development and all kinds of other things. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back with Lauren. And welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. The aforementioned Lauren Mattia is with us, and we're going to be talking about cleaning up the Mohawk Valley. It's springtime, it's cleanup time, and it is a national event with a local aspect to it as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Joe, thank you for having us on.
Yeah, you're quite welcome.
Yes, so Keep Mohawk Valley Beautiful is an initiative, and we're in our 22nd year, if you can believe that. And it's been hosted by different segments of the community. Once originated in Rome, but our agency that covers the 6-county region has really taken it to the next level and encouraged participation for teams throughout.
How long has the Mohawk Valley Economic Development District had charge of it?
For several years now, and I started as a volunteer up until January, when then I became a staff member. Yes.
And the date for it is what?
We always kick it off on Earth Day, April 22nd.
And there's a bunch of dates though, right? It's not just one day?
Absolutely, right. So the initiative is to gather and a team and get people registered on our website. And that period of time kicks off on April 22nd. And you can have a cleanup as many times as you like up until the end of July. And at that time, we do a report to our national affiliate, Keep America Beautiful, where we demonstrate as the Mohawk Valley how much we've collected in total.
So if I want to form a team, I contact you folks online. I say I've got a team, and then I tell you what I want to do, or do I ask for what can I do?
Either way, actually. If you have an area in your neighborhood that you identify that needs to be cleaned up, there's a spot right on the registration website to identify where that is. If you don't know and you're interested in helping where there's areas of need, you can put that down on your registration form, and we'll contact you and either pair you up with another group, maybe a smaller group that needs more help, or find an area that needs help.
What's a typical team like? How many people are we talking about?
It's really vast. It could be as little as 2 folks, and we have a team right now that's registered with 100 participants. One of the things that we ask our teams to do is to make arrangements for disposal. There's not necessarily a one area that we can manage to dispose of because of the different municipalities involved in different regions. But a team can be as little or as big as you want.
And teams that register with you, they get some things. They get some help, right?
They do.
Yeah.
Yes, by registering, we have some very loyal supporting sponsors that have helped us. Some in-kind sponsors with Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired and Northern Safety. They've donated plastic or rubber gloves as well as garbage bags. And so we have those to share with our teams. And when you register and you indicate how many people you have, in the area that you're looking to clean, we give you the right amount of supplies for that.
Yeah, and is there an amount of time that you ask these teams to devote to it, or is it just by project? You got to clean this area, and if it takes 3 hours, it takes 3. If it takes longer, it takes longer. How does that work?
It's just that, like you said. I mean, there's sometimes you can find a park and it just needs maybe an hour's worth of work. It's going to depend on your your team size and the complexity of the project. What I will say is there are some teams that are really interested in helping and going beyond just the cleanup, and that's really in line with the mission of Keep America Beautiful and Keep Mohawk Valley Beautiful. And what I mean by that is some beautification. In one of our local parks, one of our other sponsors, Standard Insulating, is actually adopting a park in Utica. They've collaborated with the Conservancy to identify parks of need. And they're going to be going in and doing some minor repair work, some painting, some landscaping, and they're going to be donating some soccer goalposts.
Mm.
Yeah.
You mentioned before the show who your major sponsors were. You just mentioned Standard Insulating.
Yes.
Who are the others? Bank of Utica is one, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
the Bank of Utica. You can always count on the Bank of Utica for support.
Yeah, they're doing, there's a sponsor, major sponsor of the United County History Center telethon, soon upcoming. But anyway, who you got? There's a third one, isn't there not?
Yes, there is, and that would be BME / Hummels, Business Machines and Equipment. President there, good friend Steve Mitchell, and then Chip Hummel. They've come forward to support us as well. And we're actually having a kickoff event at their location in Mohawk. So that's the other aspect. We're having several kickoff events.
Yeah, and I'll talk to Steve Smith about this later, but you represent a large geographical area. 6 counties?
It is. 6
Yeah.
counties.
Is there going to be something going on in all the counties?
Yes, there is. Starting on Monday, April 17th, we are having kickoffs in Fulton and Montgomery counties, so in Gloversville and in Amsterdam, where we ask the folks to come out and hear from local leadership and how they'll support the event, and they can also pick up supplies there. On Tuesday, the 18th, we have our kickoffs in Oneida County, and in this year, it's going to be in Bellamy Harbor in Rome. Mayor Izzo is very excited to be able to host that event. And in Mohawk, our sponsor, BME, is going to host our site for that kickoff. And on Wednesday, the 19th, we will head down to Schoharie and Otsego counties.
The people who participate in the event, are they neighborhood group? Are they companies? Are they a hybrid? Who are the typical teams?
We have several teams that are sponsored by employers. They feel that it's a great community event, employee engagement event. Whereas they'll often not only have their employees, but maybe their employees' families. We have civic groups. We have Rotary. M&T Bank has been a longtime sponsor, participant.
Yeah.
We are reaching out to individual, like Boy Scout troops, Girl Scout troops.
Yeah, I get the feel, as you're talking, I get the feel of America's Greatest Heart Run and Walk, where you have all these kinds of teams. Sometimes one individual brings a team together. Sometimes it's a company. Sometimes it's a neighborhood. Yes?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that. One of our longtime volunteers, Jake Jabari, last year was really excited about the effort and our growth. And he reminisced about, or compared us to America's Greatest Heart Run and Walk, and saying that, wouldn't it be great if, we could aspire to be, have as much impact in our region.
Where has it come from? Do you know the history of it? I know you've only been there a short time, but what's the history of it? How did it, I know with America's Greatest Heart Run and Walk, for example, started out as the Heart Run. I think they raised $700 or something like that.
Right.
And now, how did this start? How big, how small?
It started quite a while ago. I think it actually dates back to the 70s with Keep America Beautiful. And the initiative to really prevent litter. And not just to clean it up, right?
Was that the Indian commercial?
It was.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And that initiative has grown to beautification. And there's really an economic impact to all of that as well. And in our press release, we compare the amount of litter that we cleaned up. There's a stat, a piece of data that says for each piece of litter it's equivalent to 40 cents. And so last year our cleanup had a $34,000 impact, if you will, from that standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, last year during the event, I will say that locally here, Wolf Speed was just moving into town. And we were very cognizant of about wanting, to, have a nice show place. When someone comes to your house, you pick up things and you put them away and you clean up. So, who wants to invest in a community that is, not prideful of their environment? So we really focus on the economic impacts of having a clean environment.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but you're absolutely right. Last year's campaign, Keep Mohawk Valley Beautiful, how'd you do in terms of number of bags filled, or however you measure it?
Mm-hmm. We had, I think, something to the tune of 3,100 bags collected. We had several hundred volunteers, and it was predominantly in, the Oneida County in Amsterdam. This year, with the fact that we have 2 staff people dedicated and focused on really expanding and wrapping our arms around all 6 counties, we're looking to easily double that.
And the thing that is on my pet peeve list is when you walk around and see all these cigarette butts on the ground. That is just a terrible kind of a thing, isn't it?
Not only is it terrible, I caught it this morning while I was at the gym, but I just saw the headline that I think there was a fire responding call yesterday to the towers, one of the...
oh yeah, I saw that. Mm-hmm.
And that was because of a cigarette butt that was discarded.
But doesn't that look awful? I mean, you look around, doesn't that look awful? Jeepers.
Well, awful, but it's also safety.
Yeah. The number of people that come out this year, you got an idea? Is it looking better than last year, worse than last year?
Yes, absolutely. It's looking really good right now. Our registration page is really starting to fill up. We have a lot of respondents. We're asking folks to, obviously, to pick up supplies and clean up. But as they do it, we're also asking them if they'll just take a snapshot, take a picture of their team, and tag us on social media. So hashtag KMVB, and that way we will be able to visibly see, all the teams participating.
Good. Give us the time, the date, all the things they need to do to register.
Yes, just go on our website. That's mvedd.org/KMVB. And you can easily find us there. You can register your team. There's a phone number there if you have any questions. Like I said, kicking off on April 22nd on Earth Day, go outside, pick up some garbage bags and pick up some litter. And if it's raining and you don't want to go out that day, you have your event anytime thereafter until the end of July and report those results.
And if you're just 1 or 2 people and you want to get on a team, fine. And if you want to just do it with 1 or 2 people, that's fine too.
You got it.
Okay, good. Thanks for coming in.
Joe, thank you.
Yeah, when we come back, we're going to be talking to Steve Smith. He is the Executive Director of Mohawk Valley Economic Development District. Short break, right back. And welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. The aforementioned Steve Smith joins us. He is the Executive Director of a 501c3, yes?
That is true. We are a private, not-for-profit organization. We are not a federal organization. We're not a state organization. We are private. We are the federal arm to the Economic Development Administration under the U.S. Department of Commerce. So we do get federal funding, and we also get state funding as well, but we are a private, not-for-profit.
Any local funding?
Yes, we do. Each and every year, we get funding from our counties, each of our 6 counties, Fulton, Montgomery, Schoharie, Otsego, Oneida, Herkimer counties, and that helps match to our regular planning grant that we get each year from the Economic Development Administration.
What's the mission? And once I hear what the mission is, then maybe it'll make sense to me why you're the agency under which the Keep Mohawk Valley Beautiful campaign is.
Right. You know, when we first started, we've been in the village of Mohawk, right on Main Street, for the last 57 years. Started in 1966. I am the 3rd executive director. I have ties to the 1st executive director.
Who is that?
That was John Ladd.
Oh, I remember
That was way
John
back.
Ladd, yeah.
He was the director from 66 until 86, and then Mike Reese took over for John. Mike just retired from as regional director of the Empire State Development Corporation, and then I took over for Mike.
Okay.
So
John Ladd was quite a name in this
Oh,
area
yes.
back in the day.
Yep, my family knew him for a long time, and when I first started in 1994 at the office, he was still on one of our loan fund boards, so I got to know him even more personally. But our main mission is to create economic development. We're always looking for job creation. We've been in business for so long trying to lay the foundation for economic development. Our first goal from 1966 and even till now is to provide infrastructure grants for local governments, economic development agencies to create water, sewer, electric, gas, telecommunications, all the infrastructure that's needed to be ready for a business that's coming into a certain business park.
So to make it, what do the politicians call it? Shovel ready?
Yes, that is the famous word. To get to that point, you have to have your infrastructure set and ready to go. All the companies want top, broadband fiber put into the parks that are popping up all over the Mohawk Valley. Water, sewer, electric, gas, telecommunications, all those things are vital for any business coming in.
Were you involved, your agency involved with what they called the pumpkin patch down there?
Yes. Back in the mid-90s, we supplied Herkimer County and the Herkimer County IDA, the Industrial Development Administrator, we supplied them with $1.6 million for that park for water, sewer, electric, gas, telecommunications. And slowly but surely, it took a while. EDA used to give the money out and hopefully build it and then they will come. Now EDA, Economic Development Administration, wants to have those funds secured where a business is definitely coming in. It took a little while for Tractor Supply to come in, Heidelberg, JBF Stainless into that industrial park in the Frankfurt 5S North Business Park it's called. But we supplied, we laid the foundation for economic development with the infrastructure grants.
And that really was a pumpkin patch at one time, right?
Yes,
Steve?
it was mostly a strawberry patch.
Strawberry.
That was like the funny thing, calling it the pumpkin patch. That's what it's fondly known as.
Yeah.
I always knew it as a strawberry patch.
Okay. I was thinking about this the other day, and having you on the show. One of the things we have going for us, well, we have a beautiful area. No question about that, and that's what you're trying to do is keep it beautiful. But we also have a location that is really a great location.
Yes,
do we not?
we have the Four Seasons, which is tremendous.
One's a little bit long for me.
I know,
but
it always is. It seems
yeah.
like winter is like 5 months. Spring is a month and it usually rains. And then, June and July are our sacred months.
Yeah.
August, it starts getting cool at night,
Yeah.
But I'm a fall person. I like it a little cooler. But we have the Four Seasons. We have the beautiful fall, winter, for all the different activities in the Mohawk Valley. I think that's fantastic. I have a couple brothers that live in Florida. They only know it as hot, So I like the change of the seasons.
Yeah. And the location?
Yeah, I've raised all three of my children here in the Mohawk Valley in the village of Ilion. I just think there's just so much beauty, the beautiful water, the lakes, the rivers.
I was thinking too about, you see all these distribution centers
Yes.
now.
Yeah, the distribution centers are great in the fact that it increases the taxing jurisdictions. So all those distribution centers are creating tax money, for the schools, the towns, the villages, and the counties. They're not the type of job that you would get in manufacturing type jobs, but having those distribution centers, it increases traffic, it increases tourism.
Yeah.
It's really a big factor in economic development.
You all down at the Mohawk Valley Economic Development District are doing some things with broadband as well, right?
Yes, we are. Because of the CARES Act, because of COVID and the rescue plan effort put in by President Biden, we were able to receive what they call CARES Act planning grant money, and we did an Oneida-Herkimer County broadband study. And now, through the Northern Borders Regional Commission, which is basically for a few states, only in the northern parts of those states, and 4 out of our 6 counties are a part of that, Fulton, Montgomery, and Oneida and Herkimer, we're able to take the next step as far as broadband. We've heard some consultants from our office, Hunt, EAS, and we're taking the next step, working with Oneida County and Herkimer County especially. They're really putting in money to expand broadband into the not so well used areas.
Farm
well
areas?
serviced, yes. Mostly in the townships. The heavily densely populated are having not many problems. It's the underserved communities that are having problem with the broadband. That all came about because of COVID and the children, the school kids, being at home, and they couldn't get the internet to be online classing.
You mentioned 4 counties there. Run the 6 by me again.
Yes, Fulton and Montgomery, those are our 2 counties to the east.
Okay.
Then we have Oneida and Herkimer. Then we have our 2 counties to the south, Schoharie County, which contains like Cobleskill, Schoharie, Middleburg. Then we also have Otsego County, obviously, with Richfield Springs, Cooperstown, Oneonta.
Big area.
Yes, it is. With those 6 counties, it as far as population, it's about 470,000 people. Obviously, half of that is strictly in Oneida County.
And are there 9 of these districts in the state?
Yes, there is. We're one of 9 local development districts. We first started out, we had 4 counties, then we added in, those all happened right back in 1966. Then we took on Schoharie County in 1968, and then in 2003 we took on Otsego County.
Is there a competitiveness between economic districts?
I don't think there is. There's when companies are trying to come into a certain area, we don't really mind which of our 6 counties that it's coming in. We'd like to have it come in compared to another part of the state, but we've been so busy and we've had such luck with companies coming in. That's what kind of separates us from the industrial development agencies.
That's competitive.
Yes. The industrial development agencies, which there are 8 in our 6 county, because the city of Utica has its own, plus the 6 counties, plus the city of Amsterdam. So there's 8 industrial development agencies. They're looking to recruit businesses in. Plus there's other economic development agencies out there that are trying to do the same thing. There's one down in, obviously, Mohawk Valley Edge here in Oneida County. And then down in Otsego County, there's the Otsego Now. So they're going all over the United States, all over the world, trying to recruit businesses in. We don't do that. That's what separates us from the other economic development agencies. A lot of folks say, why don't you just all combine? You cover 6 counties, Mohawk Valley Edge covers 2 counties, and the other ones cover just a single county or a single city. But we all have different roles, and we laid the foundation for economic development with our infrastructure grants, and then the other economic development agencies, IDAs, they go out and recruit businesses in to these shovel-ready sites.
Yeah. Is there a project you've got going now that is likely to bear some fruit?
Well, like I said, we do lay the foundation. It's a lot of the IDAs are looking at the projects as far as bringing in businesses. We have been involved with just about every business in the 6, it seems like in the 6 counties, especially up on the former Griffiths base, Cree, Wolfspeed. We've lent money to almost every organization, every business on the Griffiths Business and Technology Park. Wolfspeed we've lent to as far as their infrastructure.
How much of an investment did you make with Wolfspeed?
Wolfspeed was probably around $275,000 to $300,000. It was in that range.
What did they use it for?
Well, that was for groundwork, just getting the the initial ground settled, plowed, whatever. We're moving a lot of ground. That's what they say we're using our money for. We're going to move a lot of ground with that money.
Yeah. How can you, or if you can, help a business that already exists?
Yeah, we have, over the years, we have revolving loan funds. We've lent, over the last 25, 30 years, over $25 million in loans to like almost 400 companies. So even if you're a startup business or an existing business, we're able to help. And we can help major manufacturers. We can help out the mom and pop store. We can help out a beauty salon or a pizza place. We have the funds now available. Before we could only do manufacturer. Now we can do any type of business, for profit, and we can also lend to not-for-profits.
What's the first step if I've got a mom and pop, or if I got a medium-sized business, and I'm thinking, geez, I could use some help here. How do I find out?
Yeah. We let the banks know what we're doing. We're always in constant contact with every financial institution out there, every economic development agency, and all of our 169 local governments know that we have revolving loan funds. So if a business calls, their local village or town,
Gotcha.
Or if a borrower goes to a bank, if the project is too small, the bank might refer them to us. We can lend up to $200,000. Only thing with our funds is that there has to be job creation. For every $10,000 that we lend, we want you to create one full-time job.
Okay. Thanks for coming in.
Okay.
Continued success to you, because if you're successful, we're all successful.
That's right. That is true.
That's good.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, Steve. That's going to do it for us this week. We'll be back next week. We'll do it all again. Don't forget cnyhomepage.com. There's lots of good stuff there. Until next time, take care of yourself, everybody.